Hola and welcome to South America for this country guide here for Rally Chile. Setup. I recommend two different stages for finding the setup. It really depends on what part of Chile you struggle more with. Is it to avoid roadside lumber, tight corners, slow speed and exhausting repetition? Then I recommend the stage Yumbel. Do you struggle more with high-speed control, fast downhill sections and blind hairpins? Pick the stage Los Angeles. Setup. For the brakes, just slightly backed bias for downhill control. Gears. Longer high gears, but shorter final drive. This spreads the gears, leads to quick acceleration, but still achieves high speed eventually on the few long straights. Dampers. Restricted bumps in and out, with the exception for fast bumps to absorb the road edges. Chile's roads are rather flat, better to avoid unnecessary roll. And suspension, slightly higher and softer springs. With the slow dampers, this creates a smooth but planted driving on the rough, coarse and irritating gravel here. For the anti-roll bars, this is personal taste. I like to harden the front a lot because it restricts the car's oversteer and pushes it to be more understeery. This is slower. It is bad for the best time trial setup, but it helps to avoid sliding, which saves tires or tire wear. On very long rallies, one of my main issues in Chile is the tire wear and how quickly they tend to wear out and become less grippy. An understeery car makes it last longer because you're sliding less, but it also makes it very snappy on the transition in the transition zone between understeer and drift. So, if you try this and if you find it to be too snappy, lower the anti-roll bars in the front to be closer to the rear value and it immediately becomes more balanced. Setup done. Driving. First, about elevation awareness. Chile goes up and down and up and down and down a lot. Be aware of that. Try to keep speed high on the uphill areas because acceleration will take longer. And try to keep the car under control and brake very early on the downhill sections. Next, obstacles. There is a lot of roadside stuff to slide into. Chile is somehow a rally where I have some of the most crashes that are in nature minor and not rally ending. But it makes it incredibly hard to drive strong results here if you damage the radiator halfway through the afternoon. Best is to assume that there is no leeway at all on the outside of corners. I totally deliberately demonstrated such damage and accidents here for illustration. And finally, the mental part. Chile is long and exhausting. For somewhat the opposite reason to Japan. The composition is monotonous. It's the other extreme to have. Much of the whole event drives in a very similar rhythm. This rhythm isn't very difficult and I find my way into it very easily. But it is tempting you to lose focus over the long stage distances. You find your rhythm and you have a great time, wonder how long the stage is still taking, your mind drifts slightly away, you crash into a tree and then realize you're only halfway there. This lack of change makes it hard to pull through. I like it and I hate it. I like that we have this opposite extreme, which is a real challenge to master for rally drivers. And I also like Chile's visuals and how the rhythm feels when you are in the zone. But I hate how dreadful it is for a long run and how often it ruins a rally. Tip for this is to train the mental focus. keep in the zone and focus on the road and pace notes for the whole time. That's about it. One final tip though, try Chile in winter. This is a shining example where the season system works nicely. Snow really appears only in the high areas and you drive constantly through transition zones, similar to Monte Carlo. I tried to streamline the script much more here. Please let me know some feedback in the comments compared to my other guides. Is all the info still understandable or did you miss something? Thanks, and until next time, tranquil madness!